Good evening, folks. This is Deb. So tonight we're talking basketball. I'm not going to apologize for my last video. I said what I said. It's based in fact. Um, like I told you, I have no major agenda other than I find it hard to believe that people can't accept people for who they are. That's a problem for me. Okay. Um, and we're going to move on from there. Okay. I did note today that Sophie Cunningham uh, almost get into it with Dejanay Carrington, and I think she was absolutely positively right to be mad. Dejanay Carrington is a dirty player, okay? This is not the first time she's been involved in stuff like this, and it did look intentional to me as well. So I'm I'm just, you know, I'm not arguing with Sophie Cunningham as a basketball player, but I think she stuck her foot in it, and it upsets me, okay? Um, because she allowed herself to be played as a pawn willingly. She's not stupid, okay? And Caitlin Clark has refused to allow herself to be played as a pawn and has said she does not want to be tied to any political movement. And she's absolutely within her rights to do that. And so, I'm sorry. It's the way it is for me. It's the difference to me between the character of Sophie Cunningham and the character of Caitlin Clark. So here, let me show you something before we get going on this one, because we are going to talk basketball. This is my newest addition to my basketball collection. It was a great deal. I got a great deal on this little basketball here. I did not have this one. Uh, but you can get good deals on these now because they're making room for the new ones. Beyond the Arc collection, which I will also, I don't know where the hell I'm going to put these things, but doesn't matter. I'll find a place. So let's talk about today's game. The Fever on the road defeat the Chicago Sky 90-86. And, combined, the dynamic duo of Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell accounted for 53 of those 90 points. Okay. I can't emphasize enough that they are the most deadly backcourt in the WNBA. Okay. Caitlin Clark, let's talk about Caitlin Clark's statistics today. 26 points, 11 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, and 1 block. She played 36 minutes of this game. So she's no longer on minutes restriction. This was her 9th double-double of the 2026 season, the 26th double-double in her 81-game WNBA career, and her 8th career game with 25 plus points, 10 plus assists, and 5 plus 3-point shots made. So Caitlin Clark's having a great season this year, okay? It cannot be denied. Now, I have a great little highlight reel I'm going to show at the end, but the problem here is that Caitlin Clark got her 8th technical, which means if it is not rescinded, if it is not overturned by the league, she will be suffering a 1-game suspension on Tuesday, which means she will miss the Liberty game. Now, I'm sorry, folks, but I thought it was a ridiculous technical. But I thought the clapping technical was a ridiculous technical. I thought there were a couple of other technicals that were in there that were absolutely absurd. So we'll see what happens with this one. It should also be noted that Stephanie White got a technical for arguing over Caitlin Clark's technical. So it's one thing when you deserve a technical. It's another thing when you don't. Caitlin Clark has certainly deserved some of the technicals she's gotten this year, but not 8 of them, okay? Maybe half that many. So we'll see what happens. They have appealed it. If the league doesn't, overturn that ridiculous technical, then Caitlin Clark will suffer a 1-game suspension on Tuesday night against the Liberty, which is not a good game to be missing. And she will have another suspension every 2 technicals that she gets. So if she gets 2 more technicals after she misses this game on Tuesday, she gets another suspension. So she's going to have to be very, very careful. And almost like, I don't know what the criteria is for a technical is so amorphous and ridiculous. I can't believe it. So we'll have to see what happens here, okay? But without a doubt, the league would be wise to overturn this one because they're not going to make themselves any friends by getting Caitlin Clark suspended, especially if it was such a dubious call. So that's where we are tonight. Now, next game is Tuesday, August 11th, against the Liberty in Gainbridge Fieldhouse. And let's hope that game is with Caitlin Clark. I don't know when the league will hand down its decision. Probably not until Monday. It's the weekend. Maybe as early as tomorrow. I don't know. I checked before I came on. I didn't see anything about whether or not they were going to uphold that technical or overturn that technical. We'll have to see. Keep your fingers crossed, folks. And then they will have a game after the New York game. They will have another game 3 days later against Dallas at Gainbridge Fieldhouse before they take to the road again. So the 11th and the 14th, and we're looking at a potential suspended one-game suspension for Clark on Tuesday. So let's take a look at some highlights today because Clark was on fire today. I mean, it was amazing, but she is amazing, okay? And the fact that this girl can score 26 points and now get, assists in double digits almost at will is crazy, all right? She is, I'm watching her game too, all right? I'm watching the way she played in her rookie season versus the way she plays now. And, taking the ball inside has been probably her biggest growth area. She's always been a magical passer. I consider her passing ability, her court vision to be otherworldly. There isn't anyone in the league that plays that part of her game like her. And that has always been otherworldly, but her ability now to drive to the hoop is a big, big, big plus for her. She is so much more than a long ball shooter. And you know who said that way back at the beginning? Steph Curry. Steph Curry said, if all you want to see is her shoot threes, he says you're taking so much away from her game that nobody should be thinking that way. And we're continuing to see Caitlin Clark's game evolve. And we're going to see it continue to evolve, okay? And Caitlin Clark will tell you herself that she thinks her biggest asset is to make the other players on the team successful, and that's what her passing is all about. And I'm going to argue the turnover bullshit. Anybody who's got their hands on the ball as much as she does, you're going to have turnovers. And if your teammates haven't figured you out yet in terms of what you're going to do with that ball, well, some of those turnovers are on them. You've got to catch them and you got to make the shots. So it goes both ways, but unfortunately, the turnovers are attributed to the passer, and that's just the way life goes. But honestly, if people are going to bring up the turnover thing, if that's all you got, brother, you know what? Don't waste my time. So let's see what we got here. We got some highlights. It's not a very long reel. We'll play the whole thing. And she was incredible today. Let's make this big size. Let's get rid of this thing right here. Thank you.
Payne floats it over to Boston, 8 to shoot. Boston going one-on-one with Cardoso and finishing.
The size and defense of Timpson has been helpful, including on the glass.
Clark stuck in the corner, step back three is good. Particularly strong class, but 20 was an absolute steal for DeJounte Carrington. Here's Cunningham up ahead of the field, lays it in, plus the foul, and then Cunningham gets into the face of DeJounte Carrington. Here's Ty Harris having a really strong season for Indiana after she got healthy, and Billings. See if that means anything, especially in the second half for them. Sheldon staying on the floor. Clark, a deep one. Wow! Clark nearly held up, able to wrestle the rebound away. Clark, a deep launch. Too much on it. No! The bank is open. Boston has 11. Mitchell has 10. 8 of them over the last couple minutes. Mitchell snares it away from Vandersloot. Here's Mitchell. Oh, what a pass! Timpson the finish on the delectable dime from Kelsey Mitchell. Timpson getting just her second career start today. Here's Clark through the lane, lays it up and in. Good attack there from Caitlin Clark. Clark into the lane, circling, didn't have anything doing. Will fire the three and knock it down. Big time bucket. Here's Clark. Clark on the drive, bounces underneath. Timpson banks it in, plus the foul. And so side out for Indiana. Here's Clark separating, taking, and hitting. Caitlin Clark, 5 of 6.
So Caitlin Clark hit 5 3-pointers today. And she was on fire, but I'm going to talk about one other player here today, and that's Michaela Timpson. She is really, really, really coming around. She, she's pretty good knowing just exactly what Caitlin Clark's going to do with that ball when she's on the floor. And I think Michaela Timpson is just another target for Caitlin Clark, and she's got great size. She's got a 10-foot wingspan. She's going to be a really great player for the Indiana Fever. And, I don't know what else to say. Michaela Timpson has earned her spot on that team. There is absolutely no question about it. So that's what I got today. Again, we shall see what happens with the suspension. I'm glad they didn't show that suspension in the highlight reel, that technical in the highlight reel, because it would have just made me even more angry than the first time I saw it. But my plan is to sit down and rewatch the whole game, so I'm sure I'm going to see it again there, unless I, block my eyes. But that's what I got for you tonight, gang. I hope you have a great night, and I will certainly probably be back with another video before Tuesday's game. That's for sure. Tomorrow's Sunday. I have some pent-up highlight reels here, and I could very well be back tomorrow night, but I will most definitely be back as soon as I hear anything about whether or not the league upholds that technical or not. We will come back and we will, regardless of what the outcome is, we will look at some Caitlin Clark highlight reels to make ourselves feel good, because that's what Caitlin Clark does. So you guys have a great night. It's Saturday. Hope you're enjoying yourselves, and I will talk to you all soon.